Hi, I'm Tim, and this is Steve.
Good morning.
And they're the cyclists.
Yes. Good morning to you guys.
And a lady too, a lady cyclist.
Welcome to Turtle Beach. However you get here, bicycle, car, on foot, you're always welcome.
You're shining. Do you notice that?
It's just my personality, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one of Gordon's silk tops?
Yes, thank you, Gordon. Maybe Jim Thompson. I didn't look at the label before I put it on. But yeah, thank you to Gordon. I would dress like a schlub left to my own devices, but viewers think they want to look at something nicer, and so Gordon has dressed me today.
So you've got a lot to talk about, which we'll get to a little bit later. Your trip to Patong.
Yeah, I don't know how much I have to talk about, but I've got a few things, yeah.
If I said, Steve, what happened in Patong? I could walk away for the next 45 minutes and you'd still be going.
Perhaps, yes. We'll find out, yeah.
I should mention that we have a sponsor. We actually don't have a sponsor, but Steve, who's not the sponsor, that's a good idea. You have some books.
Boontongs. Boontongs can sponsor you. If it costs no money, Boontongs would be happy to be a sponsor.
Great. So you have some books you've written, and there's a link to the website, the Amazon website, if you'd like to buy those books.
Thank you.
Which you'll find out everything that you didn't want to know about Thailand.
Yeah, whatever question you're about to ask, it's answered in the books. Buy a book.
Quite a lot to talk about today. I do need to share with you that I had a little bout of the D's last night, the diarrhea. How do you spell diarrhea?
Diorrhea.
D-I-O, you say?
Yes. Diorrhea.
It's one of those very misspelled
D-I-A?
words. Second go, you got it.
Yeah.
So, let me just share this with you.
Yeah.
You're in the car with number one or somebody else.
My imaginary girlfriend. Go on.
You're doing a road trip, and can I play some music? Sure. So connect to the Bluetooth and stuff. There's no radio anymore, so it's all playing off Mr. YouTube. So on comes the first song, and then the second song, and the third song. There's no, would you like to hear something? And so the entire trip is weighted rather towards their music tastes and not mine. So it got a bit frosty by the end, and I was getting a bit snappy about the whole. What are car music rules?
Well, I think in order to avoid being locked in a box elbow to elbow with somebody you're angry at, when I grew up, if it's your car, you control the radio. If you're the driver, you control. But of course, it's always going to be common courtesy to say, Tim, would you like to listen to something? Because the only band I know is Lynyrd Skynyrd. That is the only, and I guess Mozart and Beethoven I'm aware of. But for the most part,
they had great bands.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Nobody ever talks about the bass players. What's wrong?
Yes.
But you don't want me to DJ your wedding. You don't want Steve picking the music, and I'm aware of that. That is, you want me to pick a book for you? Maybe a movie, a Hollywood musical? Yeah, I could pick for you. But music, I'm kind of tone deaf, and I don't know. So I would never presume to dictate to the car what we're going to listen to.
So if I said to you, "Oh, Steve, what would you like to listen to? What would be your first song?"
Lynyrd Skynyrd, Sweet Home Alabama.
So what's your second song?
I don't know, something by the Beatles. I do enjoy the Beatles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The British boy band.
Well, yeah, the proto boy band. Sure. Yeah, I think John Lennon and Paul McCartney and George Harrison were wonderful musicians, and they found a drummer they could share a bus with.
Which is saying something.
Yeah. Actually, John Lennon and Ringo were best friends because Ringo wasn't competition. John couldn't really be friends with Paul and George because they were also musical geniuses, and he felt this constant competition with them. But Ringo wasn't. And so he and Ringo could just hang out and be buddies.
He was an important part of the. He was the glue that held.
They held it all together.
Yeah.
The sounding board. They all bounced their ideas off Ringo.
It's pretty amazing that 60 years later, people still refer to the Beatles, and it was amazing that they found all that old 16 and 35 mil film that Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings. Thank you. They're singing a few Beatles songs.
The Comanches, they're about to attack.
Yes. Put that remarkable film together, Get Back, and you sort of see the dynamics of the band. Amazing.
And I swear, Ringo's going to be the last. Ringo's going to be he's going to outlive Paul. He's the oldest. He did the most drugs and alcohol, but he will live the longest.
Oh, don't go there. So
I should be so lucky.
The other thing I wanted to just mention is now that we've established car music rules, I wanted to talk about earworms. Earworm is that song that you cannot get out of your head. Mm-hmm. You hear it on the radio in the car driving home from Phuket, and you cannot get the damn thing out of your head. I heard a song, I listened to it a few times earlier in the week. It's actually the first song that's made me sort of well up in tears for a long time. So it did have a profound effect on me. But thank you very much. I don't know where that's been. So what's your solution to earworms? Because I can't. I've got the melody and the harmonies and the arrangement and the swelling of the strings and the whole thing going round and round and round in my head, along with a few of the lyrics. And it's usually the same phrase.
Yes.
The same sort of entry into the chorus or the resolution at the end.
I lived with soft cell in my head, I think about a year
Soft cell.
ago. Don't touch me, please, I cannot stand the way you tease me. Bum, bum, bum,
Tainted
bum,
Love.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, Tainted Love. That got stuck in my head like a year ago, God, for a week. And the only thing that has ever gotten them out of my head is another one. You can replace them. Mother, Mother Ocean. When I'm out collecting trash on the beach in the mornings, if that phrase by Jimmy Buffett, Mother, Mother Ocean, gets in my head, I can't get it out. It'll be, as long as I'm on the beach, that'll be going through my head.
Hey Siri, what year did Soft Cell release Tainted Love?
82.
81, not bad. So how the hell did it become an earworm last year?
I don't know. I have no idea. You know, the only in popular culture, the only place that song I think is shown up is in the movie Coneheads with Dan Aykroyd.
Okay.
There's a scene where he's driving his teenage daughter and her friends. He's the father, the long-suffering father, and they're the girls. The teenage girls are controlling the radio, and that song comes on, and the girls just go nuts in the back seat, and they're dancing and singing with Soft Cell. And Dan Aykroyd does this wonderful look. No line, no word, just this look of a put-on father who's got to live with his teenage daughter's music. See, there's a connection.
Always is.
I don't know why that song, when it gets stuck in my head, it stays there for days.
So do you have other earworms from time to time?
Yeah. Well, I have echolalia. I will get a phrase stuck in my head, and I'll repeat it and repeat it and repeat it.
A musical phrase or a
No, language.
word?
No, language. I'm not real musical. I'm tone deaf. I can't keep a beat. I took 2 weeks of drum lessons in the 7th grade, and at the end of it, the instructor returned my mother's money. I cannot keep a beat. I cannot tap my foot in time to the music.
Well, that's the other thing. Not only is it an earworm, it's pitch perfect to the original. I mean, I do have perfect pitch, but la-di-da. So it's a thing. And I don't know, do you have a solution to earworms?
Yeah, what fixes it?
How do you... I tried to listen to the sound effects or sort of things that put you to sleep, like, you know, the crashing waves. Not that I have to go to the YouTube for that, but the sound of those bing, 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 bang, bong things in Indonesia.
Yeah, I don't know the word for that.
So
I know what
music.
you're talking about.
Indonesian folk music.
Indigenous music.
Yeah. Bing, bang, bong.
The bang bong.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
White noise.
So if you got solutions, and back to the other one, what did your mother tell you if you had diarrhea? What was her solution?
I honestly don't remember my mother and I ever discussing bowel habits, so I cannot help you with that. I think, you know, in medicine, if it's just bacteria, all you can do is flush it out. Just wait, you know, and let your body flush it out.
That's about right.
Yeah, if it's a sequelae to an infection, like some flus, side effect will be diarrhea or whatever, then you can treat whatever that cause is. But for the most part, I think what you're doing in that case is you're just waiting. You know, somebody inside your body is pushing that flush lever for a reason, over and over and over. Flush, flush, flush. Drink plenty of fluids, because you can dehydrate yourself doing that.
There's a 4-letter acronym. It's not RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation. That's to do with injuries. You know, don't you? If I had the comment section open, they would know like that.
You're telling us right now you're typing it, whatever it is, the acronym.
Bread, rice, apple, it spells something. Bread, rice, apple, and something else.
So fiber.
So it's very, very, and no butter, no sugar, no no eggs, which I just had for breakfast. So brat, that's what it is. Bread, no, but something, rice, apple, and toast. So it's not bread. Anyway, there you go.
Oatmeal would do. You're listing fiber sources.
I don't think oatmeal's included.
Well, I mean, that'd be a great source of fiber. It is a great source of fiber. And what you're doing is that you're binding. You're trying to bind everything in there into a formed wad.
But bananas, rice, apples, toast. There you go. I'm going to go and get a banana after this from 7-Eleven, which is wrapped up in a nice little plastic bag, which they'll then put in a plastic bag and give to me.
Yes, and inside that plastic bag, don't they inject, what is it, nitrogen? There's something, when they put the old bananas in a bag, there's something in there with it, like with meat in the United States. They inject the package with something that's not oxygen to keep the meat from turning brown and to keep the fruit from turning brown. They squirt something in that bag, don't they? The Brain Trust will tell us in the comment section. But yeah, I think there's a reason for that bag, bagging 3 bananas that you're then going to put into another plastic bag to carry home. I think there's a chemical reason for that.
So we're going to have a useful comment section today. Nice change.
God willing.
And
not just abuse.
So it'd be diarrhea solutions. What did Mum suggest? And
who controls the radio knob?
Yeah. So and the other one was that was it. You went to Patong for one particular reason, which you've got a show and tell coming up.
I do.
I'd be hanging out for that. So go and get something long and tall and just relax, because we'll be here for a while. I went to get a bank statement. For my visa, you now have to go to your bank and get 6 months of banking. And it has to be stamped page by page and signed by the bank.
Yep.
So you can't just go and find somebody else's bank statement and print it off and hope that everything's going to be okay. No. So the documents, the bank statement was about 6 pages. I don't have that much money. But the documents to say that was made by the bank was how many pages of A4?
I'll guess 20.
35.
Yes.
35 pages of, it's all written in Thai, I don't know. I had to sign every one of them. She had to sign every one of them. There were stamps, and then there was a date stamp. And I was there for 2 hours getting these 6 pages of bank statements. So just be aware, if you are going to apply for a visa overseas, they do take things pretty seriously.
The bureaucracy here is all powerful. In my case, for my visa this year, I have to provide an annual bank statement, provided by the bank, produced by the bank, and they charged me 200 baht this year. But they put it in a brown envelope, which they always do. But this time she licked it and sealed the envelope and said, make sure you don't open this before you get to immigration, because if it comes open, they won't accept it. Now that's new. That I had not encountered that the year
mine's
before.
loose.
But I think, honest to God, I think we're seeing a sort of tightening
Oh yes, there
at
has
immigration.
been, yeah.
I think right now there is a sentiment fueled by all of these terrible, terrible PHANG, which I saw for the last 24 hours on Patong Beach. All of this is on social media, and I think Thai people are very, very patient people, but even their patience can come to a limit. And I think the immigration people have been told, get more strict. Let's get some of this trash out of here.
It's the scammers that's been causing, and we're not talking about the people in the street showing you some property. We're talking about the big scammers, and they're tightening up on these mule accounts. I think they removed 1.3 million bank accounts last year that were mule accounts, and so the banks are also part of this, and they're cracking down. And
so be careful. Do what they tell you to do. Be patient.
they said, we'll have to call your mother to make sure we can identify you. I said, well, good luck with that.
Well, we're not far away from that. I think all of us who live here, all of us PHANG who live here on various visas, we have to start taking it a lot more seriously, because I think the Karachakan are taking it a lot more seriously. And after the last 24 hours, I agree with them. I think they need to tighten the net a little bit.
So I always wonder what is going to happen with all this paperwork. I once got one set of brake pads replaced on my Honda, and that produced around about 24 pages of receipts and shit, and I don't know what, which just goes in the bin, because I don't need that. I probably just need to keep the receipt, like one page. But where does all this paper go? Is there, in the middle of Thailand, some huge warehouse? I'm sort of thinking that final scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, well, those exist. I worked in one of those. Yeah.
So what happens with all that paper? Does anybody ever look at any of that stuff ever again?
Well, I can't speak to Thai bureaucracy, but having been a bureaucrat, a government drone dealing with medical records for 20 years, I spent a year sending old paper documents to a salt mine under, where was it? Indiana, somewhere, a mile underground. The government keeps all the old medical records of soldiers, a mile underground in an old salt mine in Valparaiso, Indiana. And my job was to go through the old paper records and make sure that everything had been scanned into the electronic record. Because yes, a doctor does need to know if you're claiming a disability because a tank ran over your foot in 1952 in Korea. They have to go back and make sure that that's where it happened, and you didn't just get the postman didn't just run over your foot with the postal truck and you're trying to claim a disability. So someone will go back and need those records at some point.
How do they find them though?
Well, if they're digitized, that was my job, making sure that every single page had been digitized into the digital record before the paper was sent a mile underground into an old salt mine. But there was a veterans hospital in Cincinnati or Cleveland that a floor collapsed because of all the medical records. The U.S. Army uses a medical records program called VISTA, which was created in 1984. It is DOS. It does not react to a mouse. You have to drive it with the keyboard, arrow up, arrow left, arrow right.
No.
Yes, and that is the medical record system that is still in use by the Pentagon. Well, the VA uses a similar DOS system created in 1986 called ALTA. VISTA does not talk to ALTA. So when the VA says, I got a 60-year-old veteran here who claims a tank ran over his foot in Korea, can you check on that? They asked the Army, can you check his records?
Wasn't Alta Vista one of the early search engines?
Yes, Alta and Vista. So the Pentagon,
they came together.
The Pentagon just phoned it in when they were looking for a name.
There you go.
But at any rate, what I'm saying is the Army says, no, fuck you, we're not going to go through and look for the record. We will print out on paper this veteran's entire medical history and send it to you with bonded courier, a very expensive process, and you can go through all this paper and find what you need. Well, the doctors don't have time for that. So all these big leather envelopes full of records come in. Nobody ever opens them. Nobody ever reads them. And they're put in a storeroom. And in Cincinnati, that storeroom collapsed a floor. There was that much unread paper just put in a room by the clerks.
It gets very heavy.
Yeah, so somewhere in Thailand, I suppose, there is a similar room where the clerks are just putting the paper and hoping nobody ever asks them to go find that piece of paper again.
So one day...
I don't like what this fan is doing to my hair. And I'm sure in the comment section, people are saying, what's wrong with Steve's hair today? If I sit in a particular orientation, it won't blow it around.
Well, do you want me to turn it down? I can't really...
No, because it's hot as hell.
Right, there you go.
Stay right there.
So, we better get on to your Patong trip.
All right.
You have to say hello to somebody.
My fame, my global fame is such at this point that I was buttonholed on the street by 3 people who said, don't you have a YouTube channel? And of course I said no, but I appear once a week on Tim Newton's YouTube channel. But one fella, Michael, I don't think I caught his last name, Michael from Pittsburgh, and we sat for about an hour together and chatted on the street, just ran into each other on the street. He bought me a couple orange juices. And I want to give a shout out to Michael. Thank you very much for the orange juice. He did say he remembers the Boontongs videos. He and a lot of people. He's the one. A lot of people will come to my house and say, "Oh, I've seen all your videos, Steve. What's this?" And they look at the Boontong set and say, "What's this?" So they, liar, liar, pants on fire.
Caught them out.
Then I met 2 other people, Mark and Lynn from Australia, who actually come to
G'day,
Patong.
mate.
Yeah, it was them. Oh, you know Mark. I mean, there's only like 10 people in Australia, right?
Yeah.
And they all live on the coasts. So, at any rate, that was very nice. I was glad to meet those people. And if you see me in the street and you want to buy me an orange juice, by all means.
But they said pass on their regards to me.
Sure. Yes, they did. Yes.
Okay.
Let's assume.
I did run into a few people at Central yesterday. Centran. So I can't. I just sort of blew past. Oh hi, because I'm not as nice as you.
Nobody is.
No.
You
got some mail?
I do, but before
Steve's got mail.
We can start with that. So we're doing this experiment. Can a letter reach Steve without a street address? All right, Steve Rosse, Turtle Beach, Thai Muang, Thailand, 82120. Now, 82120 covers 600 square kilometers. So Steve Rosse, 82120 is that's not a big deal. Not having a street address, if you sent something to me with the street address and no postal code, it would find me easy enough.
Well, now the people at the post office are going, oh, here's another one of those.
Right, yeah, that's the thing.
Yes.
Without a street address, just a postcode that covers 600 square kilometers, it's a big deal. I think that it finds me. I'm very pleased. I'm very flattered.
What would happen if they didn't have the postcode? If it just had Turtle Beach, Thailand? Now that would be I'd
have to go back and look. This is like the 8th or 10th letter that's come in through this experiment. We're running an experiment. I want to see how many letters I can get without a street address, right?
This will be included as a display in the Smithsonian one day.
My future biographers will thank me for my records keeping.
The whole chapter.
I don't know. Somebody might try that. I think a couple have come in where the post office has written it in. They've seen Turtle Beach, Thailand, and they've written in 82120.
So all the postal workers, they're all onto you now. So they go, oh, here's another one.
Locally, when he comes to my house, he's got a big grin on his face when he comes with one of these letters. He understands that I'm trying something here. This is another one. This is from Brett Border and his family.
Hi,
and again, 82120 Thailand, but no street address. It has a note. He sent... first of all, a sticker. I don't know what the Tube Shack is, but it's pool toys, and I'm going to the Tube Shack.
British Columbia.
British Columbia. I'm going to put that on my front door, Brett, and a lunch invitation for me and Tim. They're going to be here on Turtle Beach in August, and they've invited the 2 of us to dinner at George Pizza.
Down the bottom. Please bring Tim Newton.
Yeah.
Just get him out of the aged care home. And
Dear Batman, please bring Robin.
Get him out of the maximum security aged care home.
So we're averaging about 2 letters a week.
Amazing.
What would be interesting,
Thanks, Brett.
what would make this a valid scientific study is if we knew how many letters are rejected. Now, we have established that in Thailand, these both came from Canada. In Thailand, you can't do this. In Thailand, they demand a street address and they demand my phone number, on the letter.
Yeah.
But if it comes in from abroad, they're stuck with it, and they will figure out who and where Steve Rosse is.
So I'm suggesting somebody, if you feel inclined, and you haven't already done so, I'll stop playing.
Is it
with
blowing your hair around too?
Yeah, it's blowing my hair around. My head's okay though. So Steve Rosse, Turtle Beach, Thailand. No postcode. See how it goes.
Try that. See what happens. From abroad. Again, in Thailand, it won't work.
All right. So let's go to your. Oh my God! You got money.
Yes, I will pick the order of sequence of events. You see this here. This is. Yep, there we go. This is 10,000 baht in Rial, in Cambodian currency. 2 years ago, I spent one night in Cambodia, and as one does, when I got off the plane at the airport, I went to the exchange. I said, yeah, I'll need some Cambodian money. Here's 10,000 baht. They gave me, they wouldn't accept it in Cambodia. I couldn't buy anything with this in Cambodia. And the currency exchanges here laugh at me, literally laugh at me. So I took it to Patong. I thought maybe
a lot of people laugh at you, Steve.
They do, that's true. I kind of beg for it, though.
Yes.
That's true. All right, I withdraw that statement. But my point is, I can't do anything with this money. The currency exchanges won't touch it. It's 10,000 baht. If you've got any suggestions what to do with it, all I can think to do with it is make a Cambodian currency turtle. I'll use Mod Podge and glaze a turtle with useless money.
Steve,
it's pretty. It's really beautiful money. It's very well designed.
The cyclists are all leaving.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See? People like me.
Yeah, right.
For about 5 minutes.
Yeah, then you start talking.
Yeah, then I start talking.
So I'll have to do a trip to Cambodia and accept your kind donation of Cambodian cash.
You know, like I said, they wouldn't let me pay for my hotel. A taxi driver didn't want it. The massage lady didn't want it. They all wanted American dollars. So I don't know if the exchange in Cambodia will sell you back Thai baht for your rial. I kind of think it's a scam.
What about if you go to the bank? The bank would have
I've been to the banks here in Thailand.
They won't change it.
No. They laugh at me. We don't have a currency exchange here. The banks won't do it. They say go to Khao Lak. Khao Lak has a currency exchange.
I do all my currency changes at Bangkok Bank
in cash.
In cash. I take when people give me US dollars or my Malaysian ringgit.
You have a business account there.
No.
I have a consumer account there. Maybe I could.
Shouldn't make any difference.
I've tried. I know I've tried. I mean, 2 years ago when I came back from Cambodia with this useless money.
Well, wear pants next time. That will help.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Yeah, I wear pants for no man. All right.
Okay, so you've got. You are directing proceedings. I'll
All
sit
right.
back.
We'll go immediately to the prop comedy. Look, I keep answering the same question. And if you don't mind, I would like to take 5 minutes to answer that question here so that maybe I don't have to answer it in the comment section anymore. If you're not interested in rubber turtles, skip ahead 5 minutes and he'll say something witty and bright.
Okay, the stopwatch is running, okay?
So I went to Patong. I hate Patong. I absolutely despise Patong Beach, but I went there to buy turtle toys. And everybody says because I use these turtle toys to make these big installations, I encrust them like a Fabergé egg with cigarette lighters and bottle caps that I pull in off the beach.
I will interject from time to time so I feel relevant.
Okay, well, yes, you keep doing that as long as it makes you feel good. It's your channel.
Yeah.
At any rate, so I do these art, or at least craft, installations. I have had people argue whether this is art or not, and I will own that. If it's not art, that's fine. Certainly it's not high art. Might be folk art, or it might simply be craft, or even just technique. If you just want to call it technique, that's fine. At any rate, I build
art.
these things. It all starts, thank you.
It is.
But it all starts with a pool toy, all right? A floaty, a turtle-shaped inflatable rubber pool toy. I blow it up, so my breath exists inside each of these installations, and long after I'm gone from this beach, long after I am dust, my breath will continue to be on this beach in front of coffee shops and noodle shops and everything else.
That's not a cheap toy. 380 baht.
Oh, no. I got this for 150. You got to haggle. You got to haggle. And when you're buying 5 turtles, they're very happy to give you a discount.
Oh, well done.
So I got these for 150. 350 is when you're a tourist and your child is screaming, "Daddy, I want that one! Daddy, I want that one!" The vendor smiles real big and says, "Yeah, 380
Special
baht."
price for you.
Yeah. Now, the question that people ask me
Up to 2 minutes.
is why does your hair keep blowing around? The question people ask me is why not just order off Lazada or Temu?
Why not order off Lazada and Temu?
Thank you. Well, here's why, okay? Obviously, I've been doing this for 3 years. I do this every single day. 7 days a week, I'm making turtles for 3 years. So I've got 15, I think, or 16 right now around town. It takes me
16
about
bulbs.
2 months to make a bob. So why not just buy them on Lazada? Okay, here's why. First of all, this is what's available on Lazada, all right? This. It's 600 baht on Lazada. It's 400 baht up the beach here in Khao Lak. I can buy it locally in many places, anywhere from 400 to 800 baht.
Delivered to your home.
Delivered to your home. But this is huge. This is what's available on
It's a
Lazada,
big one.
and it's huge. I can use this once a year for the parade. Otherwise, people don't want a great big damn turtle in front of their dinky little coffee shop, right? So yes, this is great, but that's what Lazada has to offer. Lazada also has these, which I have just finished building 3 of these. These are sold locally on Phuket. Like I said, 150 baht. They're about 150 baht on Lazada. Pay shipping. I prefer to buy locally. So I've just finished 3 of this turtle. I don't want all my turtles to look alike. So I wanted to find other turtles. This is the only thing available on Temu. Temu doesn't have any other turtles, only this one, and we've established it's too big. I have 2 of these under my bed right now. I'm good for the next 2 years on this great big damn turtle. Thank you very much. This guy is sold locally, again, for 400 baht, and this is a great turtle. I've made about 3 of these, the 2 turtles that are up in the national park, and the one that's in front of the Obotor. Started with this toy. It's huge. Again, it can only be outside somewhere, and little coffee shops don't want it. This is available locally for about 400 baht, and again, it's great, but because it is in standing, you can actually, it's a different pose. Instead of having the wings outspread, you see his feet are kind of going down. It's just a different pose, and I've done 3 of these so far, and okay.
Okay.
All right, so what I find in Patong is this guy, this trip. There are about 3 or 4 different styles of rubber turtle I can find. I've shopped out Kara, I've shopped out Rawai, I've shopped out Mai Khao Beach,
Khao Lak.
Patong, Khao Lak, and Patong was the last place to go. And I absolutely despise Patong. I hate being there, so I saved it till last. And I walked in 30 hours. I wore big holes in my feet with my Crocs.
Could be blisters.
It's ugly. My feet are ugly at the moment. But I covered every square inch of Patong Beach, and I came up with 10 of these. 10 of these and a duck and 1 of these. All right? And these are great. I like these.
Duck as well.
The MAGA hat turtle started with 1 of these.
Okay.
And they're great because the head comes out straight out of the body. God, I hate this camera. So you see how one head is raised up and the other head comes straight out. So you can't do a MAGA hat with this one because the head is in the way. You can't, 5 minutes and 20 seconds. All right, he's bored with turtles.
Do you want an extension?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please ask the judges a very brief extension. At any rate, so that's why I go to Patong Beach. Now I'd like to address a viewer called The Farang.
The Farang.
The Farang. Imagine thinking you're the only one. The Farang. He said, yes, Steve, we know you go to Patong Beach to shop for turtles. Sure.
Oh, you did?
Dude, yeah, I did. Half a kilometer down this road, there's 3 karaoke joints that'll sell you a blowjob for 300 baht. Why would I go all the way to a place I hate?
Well, they could blow up your turtles.
No, it's my breath inside
sorry.
those turtles.
Beg your pardon.
My point is, why would I go all the way to a place I hate, pay 1,000 baht for a taxi to take me there, 1,000 baht for a taxi to take me home, 1,000 baht for a hotel room, food, and all of that You can buy sex. There's probably 100 places between my house and Patong Beach where I could buy a blowjob. Why would I go all the way to Patong Beach? Because you can buy sex anywhere. You cannot buy this anywhere. These are rare. Rare as hen's teeth. All right? So, the PHANG. Think before you speak. That's it. That's all I have on turtles. That's the end of the, I have more in Narelle's notebook, but that's all I have for turtles.
So that's the end of the turtle section of the program. Hopefully you're now a little bit richer in your knowledge about inflatable turtles.
I don't know why, but I love it.
I
Tim.
know.
Every day, 8 hours, 10 hours a day, I'm covered in paint and glue and cement. And I just love it. When I get to take a turtle and give it to a neighbor and they appreciate it and they want to have pictures with it, and I come by and they say, you know how many tourists come by just to take a picture with our turtle? I love all that. I love all that. I'll go to Patong for that. I wouldn't go to Patong for any other reason, but I'll go to find turtles. I don't know what to do now. I've shopped out Patong. I've shopped out all of Phuket. I've shopped out the coast here. I don't know where to go next. I got to go, I don't know, somewhere where there's a beach and tourists. This is the only place you'll find these things.
Well, I would have thought generally around the world, they're all coming out of China anyway.
I would guess.
There is a limited stock of small inflatable turtles.
Yes. And there are 3 or 4 styles, again, that I've used in the past that aren't available. There were 1 or 2 on the island of Phuket, and I bought them both. And remember that these guys, they'll order 100 beach toys. And they'll get 5 unicorns, 5 duckies, 5 turtles. And when they've sold all their turtles, they don't say, let's order 5 more turtles. They wait until they have sold 90% of their pool toys, then they order another 100,
Sure.
and it comes in a mixed bag. So it's not like I can say, all right, I'm going to wait a month, and I'll go back, and they'll have ordered new. It's like the art store. The art store in Phuket, beautiful art store, great art store. They sell these press-on letters, English letters, right? All different fonts, all different sizes. There's no vowels. All the vowels have been purchased. And you ask the clerk, when are you going to restock? She says, well, no, look how many. We've got so many letters left.
Yes.
We have to wait until we sell all those. And you say, but lady, you can't make a word without vowels. There's no vowels here. And she looks at you like you're the stupid one. And she shrugs and she goes back to the cash register. It's the same thing with rubber turtles. Once I've bought out all the turtles on a beach, that's it for another 5 years.
Take a
They don't
breath.
get more.
Take a breath. Settle down. So,
Every teacher I ever had in every school I ever attended,
right.
that's all they could say. Settle down.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just take your pills. So,
Done.
and
Done.
everything else.
Yeah. Done.
So you must have seen a few sights while you were
Yes.
there in Patong.
Yes.
You would have seen a few foreigners behaving badly.
You know, that is. I keep talking. My friend John Williams says, "Yeah, make it brief." Again, every teacher, every boss, every lover, every friend. Steve, can you just make it brief?
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, I know, and I'm
Okay.
67. I ain't gonna change.
Wow.
I can't. This
We'll
is
try.
who I am, and this is why he invites me on the channel. At any rate, you know, the behavior of tourists in Patong. I was sitting in the lobby last night waiting. I'll just describe for you the most recent thing. Waiting in the lobby of the hotel, very nice hotel. Well, the lobby is very nice. There were
Stayed at
problems.
the
with-
Novotel or
No, it's called the Natural Resort.
okay.
And it very, very flashy, very pretty, but basically it's a bungalow joint, and they're operating with about a third of the staff they need, so there's nobody going to carry your bag to your room, nobody going to unlock the door for you, introduce the amenity. No, you walk yourself, and like Steve, you get to your room, and the key won't unlock the door, because the key is so old, it won't engage. But at any rate, so I'm sitting in the lobby, very nicely appointed lobby, very pretty, all Burmese staff, not a Thai in the lobby. Everybody up to the night manager is Burmese. And I'm sitting there, and this van load of young men from somewhere in the Middle East comes rolling in. They all come piling out of this van. Ha ha ha, ho ho ho. I suppose it's the only time in their life they can drink alcohol publicly, I guess. I don't know why they're behaving this way. But none of them are wearing shirts, and they're all
Yes.
sweaty and shitty. And they come piling into the lobby, and they flop down on the furniture, which is upholstered in fabric. Very nice fabric. It's nicely decorated. And they're just in their sweaty bodies with nothing on but a bathing suit. They're just flopping all over the furniture and putting their sweat on the pillows that other people have to sit on.
Yes, I don't like that.
Oh, my God, it's disgusting. You don't do that back in wherever
I don't do it in my own house.
No. You know what it costs to dry clean a throw pillow? You don't do that. You're a guest. Literally, on your bill, it will say guest. You are a guest in this establishment. Act like it. All right, that's it. That's all that is the only complaint I'm going to make about tourist behavior on Patong Beach.
I thought it was going to be something interesting.
No, very little of what I say is interesting to anybody except me. And again, you know the rule when you invite me on your show. It's going to be what's interesting to Steve. I did, my friend John Williams says everything.
I've seen some of the headlines. You're not going to read those out, are you?
No. Oh, yeah, no. My friend John Williams says, all of my opinions of Thailand are 30 years out of date, and I have come to believe, yes, he's very correct with that. I'm Otzi the Iceman. They woke me up after a coma, and everything is different, and I don't like change. So yes, but on the other hand, he says you constantly diss Phuket, you constantly badmouth Phuket. You spent 8 years promoting Phuket in magazines and newspapers 30 years ago. You're at least partially responsible for all this boom and construction. So, all right, he says, say something nice about Phuket. I had a sirloin steak on the beach. Place called...
On the beach?
Well, yes, on this side of the beach road. You
okay.
Don't actually eat. To their credit,
on Road.
They don't let construction on that side of the beach road.
Yes.
But yeah, Tawiwang Road, the beach road. Place called the Medusa. Does that make sense? The Medusa? Anyway, nice little restaurant. A chair and table in front of a fan as close to the beach as I could get. Beautiful evening. And a sirloin steak that should have been in a commercial for Outback Steakhouse. Beautifully prepared piece of beautiful meat.
And what would you pay for
that? Lovely. With a tip, because I'm American, I tip generously. I have a theater degree, which means I've waited a lot of tables, so I'm a very generous tipper. With tip, with a beverage, and a salad and fries. 1,000 baht. Okay?
Ooh, okay, so that's getting up there.
That's getting up there, but boy, it was a beautiful piece of meat. Now, 1,000 baht, what is that? 34 US dollars, I think?
Today, yeah.
So there are restaurants in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and Iowa City, Iowa, where you could pay $30 for a nice steak.
But you are on the beach
You're
road
on the beach
Patong.
in Thailand, and I don't remember eating beef for the 3 years I've been here. I don't think. Last year we had tacos at your place. It might have been beef, but I don't remember. Just a thick red steak. I don't think
we're having tacos tonight.
Right. Is it beef?
Yeah, it'll be chicken tonight.
Oh, okay. So like I say, beef is very rare in my diet. And oh my God, did it give me gas. Oh my God. It was like epic. Never in my life have I produced this much
apologies
methane.
To the Burmese housekeepers
yeah.
who had to clean Steve's room.
No, to the people, whoever were walking behind me on the crowded sidewalk, leaving the restaurant, whoever was, I had to, walk along. And whoever was behind me, I apologize. But oh God, it was a good meal. So thank you, Patong. Patong Beach can still make a good steak.
Why don't we get John on Grumpy Old Men one day, and he can talk up Phuket. Phuket. I like Phuket. I mean, I lived there for 12 years. Mm-hmm. But it just as an expat, the problem with it is it wasn't the expense, because you can still find cheap accommodation and cheap meals. You just got to know where to go. Keep out of the tourist areas. It's relatively cheap. Probably just about as cheap as most all Thai sort of places. But whenever you get into the tourist zones, it's going to get expensive. But it's the traffic that got me. The traffic, it didn't just increase 10%. It increased like 300% over a period of 2 or 3 years, which made a person who lives there driving around, it made it unmanageable. Yeah. So, John, I like Phuket, but
Yeah, and John says, you think the Thais care? They have air conditioning in their car. They have Wi-Fi. They watch a movie. They wait for the traffic and they watch a movie. They don't care about traffic, which he may be right. I don't know. But John, if you want to come, he's made the invitation.
Sure.
I think that'd be a great show. We'd have to let him talk about his car a little bit.
What sort of car has he got?
It's a bright blue BMW and then a bunch of letters and numbers. But it's really fast. And John loves to drive it really fast. So
M5?
what do I know? I'm not a car guy. But that
Speaking
guy
of
is.
fast
That
cars.
guy is. But John comes up here every now and then to visit Steve. I think he just comes to open up the car out on the interstate. But John, yeah, if you want to come and defend Phuket.
That might be over...
Yeah, inter-province on the big roads, the big 6-lane roads.
Yeah.
At any rate, he's made the invitation.
Sure.
Come defend...
come and defend Phuket.
Maybe Charlie Whiskey wants to come. Come and defend Phuket, because I have spent...
Charlie Whiskey doesn't like me.
Oh, well, he likes me, I think. But at any rate, for 3 years, I've been dissing Phuket on YouTube. If you want to come defend Phuket, that'd be a great idea.
And then we'll get somebody on the week after. We'll get them online from Pattaya, and you can talk up Pattaya, and we'll trash it. And we'll find some common ground.
I think I've spent 3 nights in my life in Pattaya, and that was in 2018. And
It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. It's walking street. It's liquor and prostitutes
what?
and fat old white guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. And now many Indians, groups of Indian men. Oh my God, seeing a group of 6 Indian men all surround a single prostitute and trying to negotiate a price for 6 dudes, all of them together, kind of circling her like sharks. I don't know how people work that way. I don't know. I wouldn't stand one night being swarmed like that by half a dozen Indian men. And I don't know why they have to shop for sex in a group. Why can't one guy just go shop for what he wants?
They might
Why
be
do you
shy.
have to? You think? Yeah, you think maybe it's a matriarchy and they're all mama's boys and they're afraid of women and maybe that's why? Maybe. I ain't Dr. Freud. I ain't here to analyze anybody.
You've seen enough psychiatrists, though.
I have. Psychologists.
Psychologists,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I've seen one psychiatrist, because you only see a psychiatrist if you need drugs. Because a psychiatrist is a medical doctor, he can write you a prescription.
Right.
Psychologist is a talk therapist. You sit for an hour, and boy, you think I don't like a guy whose job is listening to Steve talk about Steve? $160 an hour I've paid for that.
So Steve pays me $160 an hour. That's why the shows go
I should be
exactly 1 hour.
Paying all of you $160. Yeah, show me your degree, man, and listen, and that's all you need to do. Show me a diploma and listen, and I'll pay you $160.
So we've got time for 2 more.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not
Holy
kidding you.
shit. Steve, calm down.
You're kidding me.
I saw a movie on Phuket, on Patong Beach at the, what is it?
Jung Ceylon.
I saw the newest Marvel movie. It's called Thunderbirds, Asterix. I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. I enjoyed the shit out of it. They have these big recliners, like sofas. There were only 5 people with me in the theater. And so I paid for the cheapest seats. And I sat down in one of these big 2-seat love seats, put my feet up. Oh my God, it was wonderful. And
I think you enjoyed the experience more than the actual movie.
No, but it was a good movie. The air conditioning. Oh, at that point in the afternoon, 2:00 in the afternoon, I really wanted the air conditioning.
I'd only go if it was about the Thunderbirds from the Jerry Anderson.
Thunderbirds are go!
Yeah.
No, but I think there's a live action remake of that in the works. I think that is past my feed.
The one they did
at
about
some
15
point.
years ago was awful.
Yeah, well,
So
you know.
it was a kids' movie.
But at any rate,
So what was it about? God, why did I ask that?
No, it's just it's superheroes. It's introducing the new Avengers because all the old Avengers are like 60 years old now. You know, Morton Downey Jr.
The new Avengers?
Robert Downey. Yeah, the new Avengers.
So it's
It's all new actors except for one.
Emma Peel
Bucky
and-
Barnes is still there.
I'm thinking of the new
No,
Avengers,
that's the wrong Avengers, and that's an interesting case of where copyright law does not cross borders. The
Yes.
British Avengers and the American Avengers simultaneously, and nobody sued anybody
I'd
because
much
one was
rather
American,
watch
one
the
was
British Avengers. I'm sorry. There is a movie coming out.
Diana Rigg in a catsuit. Oh my God, yes, I will watch that.
And she's still around, I think.
Oh, she was on Game of Thrones. She was amazing on Game of Thrones. And she played a character who's in the books only 4 feet tall.
Hey Siri, how old is Diana Rigg? We're finding out how old she is.
She played a character, she herself is like 6 feet tall.
Okay.
And they put everybody else on blocks. They put all the other actors up on boxes next to her to make her appear 4 feet tall. She was also in Detectorists, which if you have Netflix, that's a wonderful British TV series about guys who use metal detectors. And it's a funny situation comedy. And she plays the mother of the love interest of the protagonist. And she and her daughter, the two actors are mother-daughter. And her daughter looks and sounds exactly like a young Diana Rigg. It's spooky. And the two of them on screen together is double spooky.
I had a corgi called Emma Peel.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There's a movie coming out,
Great
talking
show.
about movies, which I do want to see.
We always veer into movies, don't we?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's coming out in June the 6th or June the 11th. And this time it's DreamWorks making it, not Disney. And they're making a live action version of
Lilo and Stitch.
How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Which I thought was probably my favorite animated movie.
Really?
The
I've
last
never seen
decade.
it.
You haven't seen it?
No, just haven't.
So how they found a real life dragon? Well, you'll just have to go and see. But it looks really, really good.
There was a trailer for it. Yes, there was 20 minutes of trailers.
Really?
In the theater? Yeah.
Oh, so you saw it? Oh, okay.
I saw that. Lilo and Stitch, the new Mission Impossible. Talking about aging out of a role. Jesus Christ, Tom, let it go. Not Tom Hanks. What's his
Cruise.
name? Tom Cruise. Dude, it's time to play grandpa, goddammit. You're that old. Stop playing the hero.
Well, this is the part 2 of the final Mission Impossible.
I would guess, yes, and I'm glad it's the final. But anyway, and a bunch of Thai movies as well, all ghost movies, which will also have a
with some
comic,
pretty girls, a gay character,
a comic gay character,
Yeah.
and fart jokes. They love fart jokes.
and the sound effects.
And boing.
Yes.
Yeah, and those are goofy and fun too, particularly if you're with a Thai person who you care about and you want he or she to be happy. Then this is the kind of movie you can go to where you don't even need to understand what's being said.
I don't do horror
You just
movies.
watch people. Yeah, it's not really horrific. But at any rate, something else I did appreciate about Patong and Phuket. There are movies there. I haven't been in a movie theater for maybe 10 years. I haven't seen a movie in a theater, and I only had to get up to pee once. I was very proud of myself, and that's because I was sweating so much that everything, I was pounding waters, but it all came out through my pores. Only had to leave the movie once to use the restroom, which for a 67-year-old male, that's pretty darn good.
Pretty good.
But one more thing, John, one more thing that I liked about Patong.
It's got cinemas.
And I had a massage.
Here we go.
But I always just get the head, the neck, and the shoulders because I don't like laying down. But this is the only opportunity. I'm never touched by a human being.
I need to get my finger on the delay button. Do we have delay on this?
No, shut up.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not, my lifestyle, I live alone. I'm never touched by another human being. Thai people are touchy-feely up to a point, but I just don't, I just don't get touched. So when I get a massage, that's when I have physical contact with another human being. And so I always make a point when I go to Phuket, I either get a mani-pedi or I get a head, neck, and shoulders massage. I don't get anything I have to lay down.
What's a mani-pedi?
Manicure, pedicure? Right.
Just need to explain everything when
yes.
we're talking about this, yep.
So this woman, she bragged to me that she used to work at the stadium. She used to massage boxers.
Stadium. Boxing stadium.
Boxing stadium.
Right.
She used to be, outside the ring giving massage to tired boxers. And she said, do you want nuat gila or nuat gila, mate? You want a sport massage, meaning really deep and hard? And I said, no, thank you. So she ended up spending 45 minutes of the hour massaging my follicles. She stayed above the hairline for 3/4, and then she'd drift down and do a little here and a little neck and shoulder, turn my head back and forth. Then she'd go back to the hair follicles. And I don't know what it was about the crown of my head, why she was so adamant that that's where she had to focus her attention. But for me, it's just physical contact. I just, you know, I like to be touched now and then. So at any rate, that's another thing. I was not impressed. We have one massage joint here, and I was not impressed.
There's 3. There's
Really?
2 more opened on the beach this week.
On the beach.
On the beach road.
Well, I know Kun Pon, who has the 2 wives. He advertises massage, but I've never. It looks dirty and gross. I don't know. Yeah. But at any rate, all right. So those are the things I liked about Patong. Do we have more? I can stop.
Okay, go on. One
All
more.
right,
One
all
more.
right.
We come up to the
Oh,
magic.
somebody said, Steve, you're the kind of person, when asked, is the glass half full or empty? Your response is always, who cares? It's not my glass. And I think that's right. I think whoever that correspondent was, they know me to a certain degree.
I'm glass half full.
Oh, want to emphasize again, we live in Thai Muang. For the pedants out there, Jeffrey Senior, glad to see you back. For a long time, Jeffrey didn't interact with me. He's been throwing shade at me for years and years and years in social media in kind of a teasing, sometimes not teasing kind of way.
Gentle prod.
But he corrected somebody who said Steve lives in Thai Muang. He said it's Muang Thai. Well, again, Muang Thai means the civic entity
city, yes.
of the Thai people.
Usually spelled M-U-A-N-G in English, where this one is spelled M-U-E-A-N-G.
Muang. It's the same vowel, it's just 2 different ways to spell it. But at any rate, yeah, we are a Thai Muang, the end of the tin mine, not Muang Thai, the civic entity of Thailand, the Kingdom of Thailand.
I'll back you up on that one, Steve.
Thank you. You know what?
That's it.
That's it.
Okay. So thank you, Narelle.
Yeah. You know everything you need to know about rubber turtles. Imagine that. When you woke up this morning, you couldn't imagine that you would get a tutorial in rubber turtles. Look at the value we bring to YouTube.
And
Where else? What other YouTuber? I'm sorry, I interrupt you a lot, don't I? Go on. I'm done. I'm done. Zip.
You are. And with that, thank you very much for coming to the Steve Rosse Show.
Grumpy old man.
I feel
And
like
Tim.
Yeah.
With
I feel
special
like
appearance
Ed
by Tim
McMahon
Moon.
today.
Okay.
Is he still around, Ed?
Ed McMahon? No.
No, he's
no,
gone.
no. Here's Johnny.
So thanks for dropping in, and please subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back with something tomorrow. We say we, I mean me. You're playing with the cable. You're touching the table.
Next week, remind me to tell you the Ed McMahon story. Go on.
Okay, so next week you've got the Ed McMahon story.
I'm going
to
to write
look
it in
forward
Narelle's
to.
notebook right now.
God, he remembered. Yeah, did I say subscribe to the channel? I did. While you're writing, I'll say goodbye. Thanks for watching.
We didn't complain once about the noise. Not one time.
What?
Yeah.
See you later. You gonna say goodbye?
Oh, I'm sorry. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Have a great week.